Emma, we're in a beautiful church here in Port Gibson. Tell us where we are.
Okay, you're in St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Port Gibson, Mississippi. You're on Church Street, which is actually Highway 61.
Let us talk about this church. It's very unique. Tell us the history.
Okay, you have got, remember that this is Southwest Mississippi. It's the oldest part of the state. Keep in mind that Natchez is older than New Orleans. And so this country was opened up pretty early, and people came in here. And Catholics were among them, but there was no church. So you have a family whose name is Bowie, and you may be familiar with the Bowie knife. This is the same family. Elvie Bowie Moore was the daughter of Reason Bowie, who was the brother of Jim Bowie, who fought at the Alamo. I'm sure he had a Bowie knife on him when he died. Yeah, right. So there was no church. Her husband was not Catholic, and so she was on the plantation. I think it was Fairview, and she wanted a church. And the only way to get it was to go around and ask people for the money, because she did not have a lot of money herself. And so she did this, and her husband got sick of it, we're told. And so he told her, if you will leave my friends alone, I will build you a church. And this is the church, St. Joseph's. Okay, it was built before the Civil War. The Foleys were involved with building it, the family, the daddy, and then the son was here helping him, mainly with the altar, that's what we say. Okay, so let's see. The church was built, I think we have, like, the cornerstone was laid in 1851. The bishop was sick, he wasn't here, and so it's the only church, they say in the information I've got, it's the only one that was not, what we're going to say, is consecrated by the bishop.
By the bishop,
This was Bishop Chance, he was sick at the time. We've done all right in the meantime, somehow or other, right. Okay, it's a small church. If you count the pews, it's like 8. They're not very many, but we had a nice wedding in here about 10 years ago with my daughter. It fits very well. Right.
Now, are these the original pews?
I'm assuming that they are. The only thing I've got in information that the church has is that the windows are not, they were not here to begin with, nor were the Stations of the Cross. The rest of it apparently has been here as long as the church.
I'd like to talk about the windows. You have this blue tint that comes into the church when all the lights are out. That evidently is the glass that's in the window.
Right. But you also have at the top of every window, notice you've got a colored cross, and there are different colors, and if you're in here at different times, particularly in the afternoon, it's like somebody's here, the Lord is here, and you got like a red cross right here, or a green cross over there. It's like there's something special here, no doubt about it.
Do you think they thought of that, or did they just think of putting a colored glass in?
I think the colored glass, they liked it, and so they put it in. I'll tell you one thing, this one over here has got some of the glass missing, and when it's a really bad day and the wind is blowing really hard, I look up there to see if the sky is still out there, or if it's black as night, because you can't tell the rest of the windows.
You really can't. They're a frosted window, and evidently that blue is inside that glass.
You know more about it than I do.
I would assume.
Yeah, right.
I would assume
now,
that.
the windows used to open, of course, before you had air conditioning. I've seen them open, but you also come in with all the pollen and the little bugs that are flying through, so you can't do that much anymore.
Right. What about the altar? Let us. Well, I'll tell you what. Before the altar, let's talk about this railing, because a lot of churches, Catholic churches, have done away with the railing.
This was Vatican II. They were taken out so that the priest was closer to the congregation. Another thing was, instead of facing the altar, the main altar, he now faces the people, and so there had to be another altar built for him to serve in this, for any priest to serve in this church. And the thing is there was not room at the top of where the priest would stand for the altar to be built, and so it comes down the steps, the 3 steps there, to make it be secure. And it's worked beautifully. We had someone in the church who donated that for us.
Very good. This now there are different in this
Christian
railing.
Symbols. Yeah.
There are Christian symbols in this railing.
Right.
And these were all. Is this original to the church?
Yes, this is something that was made by the son of the man who was building the church. His name. He was very young, like a teenager, we think. And this was what he did. He also was the one who carved the original hand for the Presbyterian Church, which used to be wood. You can imagine what the woodpeckers did to that from time to time. I'm sure Michael told you that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Oh, I never knew that.
Right. Okay.
Well, of course, this was such a close-knit community at that time that people helped other people whatever they needed done, whether you were...
help me,
right, regardless of the religion.
Right, didn't matter, did not.
Did not matter. Okay, now, we have the Last Supper down here. Talk to me about that, because I'm showing my viewers that.
Okay, it is a very nice thing when you're coming up the aisle to see it. Of course, you can see it from on the altar. I don't know if it was original, but I'm assuming that it was in the church when the church was built. You can see the different dishes, and you can pick out some of the followers of Christ. John's the main one because he's the youngest, of course, and you've got Jesus in the middle. And who the other ones are, y'all could spend all day trying to figure that out. I'm not that biblically trained, so I can't do it for you.
Okay.
Right.
Now, we have this beautiful painting above the altar. Tell us about that.
Okay, this is a painting of the crucifixion by Thomas Healy. His people lived here. He had a family, and remember, yellow fever was a dirge to everything in this country. They didn't know it was mosquitoes. And so he was here during the 1876 yellow fever epidemic. Either that one or one of the early ones. His wife died, at least one child. And what he did, of course, he was a painter. And so he spent his time painting portraits of families who were then in town who could afford his price. I have no idea what that was. I've got several of them in my house of my husband's family. He did a very good job. And the thing to remember is that he has a brother named George Healy who has paintings in the White House. So they were very well trained. They were talented, of course, and they were very well trained to do what they did for a living. We're glad he came this way.
Amazing, amazing. And now this back area of the altar itself, that is original to the building.
That was the altar. You see, you've got the can't even think what you call it now, in the middle. Yeah, where they keep
the table in the middle of the.
But I'm talking about the. Well, it's not the chalice. Well, the chalice lives, shall we say. Yeah, I can't think what you call it right now. Anyway, that's...
tabernacle.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
I just remembered that.
Okay, the tabernacle and all that. Right. And, of course, you have the pillars that go up. And take a look up there, too. You don't forget about it. You've got an anchor. You've got the chalice. You've also got a cross.
All carved in there.
You've got the dove. In the middle.
And the dove is in the middle. Yeah, now we are showing that. There's on the right-hand side is the chalice, the cross in the middle, and the anchor.
Right.
And that all was done, had to be, I wonder if it was carved by the same person.
I'm not that sure. I've never heard anybody say. But I would think so. Makes sense.
Emma, I want to talk about the beautiful stations of the cross that we have on the wall. These are quite unique.
Yes, they are.
And they are unique to the church. They were here.
Right. That they have been here not forever. Like in the 40s, there was a priest who was very well loved by his parishioners, and I guess probably when he was leaving, they had these made. And from what my paper, the paper that is part of this town, the Reveille, there was an article in there about someone who was a friend who had them made in Italy. But the strange thing about it is that we can't figure out why the inscriptions on the bottom, which give you the passion from his being condemned all the way around to being hung on the cross and then down into the tomb, they're all Polish. We have no idea why that is.
We have any idea why.
Italy and Poland? No. And it's probably one of your folks being from Poland.
But the carvings are so exact.
Well, they're bas relief. Of course, they're flat on the back. And the thing about it is the scenery in the background is quite, what we're going to say, elegant. Yeah. Like magnificent buildings, that sort of thing. So take a look at them. And even like the helmet on you, I'm going to say he's a centurion. I'm not sure what he was. But anyway, and just the individual things you got, like even the ropes on Christ and the cross itself. They are very distinct, I guess would be the right word.
Right. Now, of course, do you use the back of the church anymore, where they used to put the choir? Is the choir still up there?
No, we don't have a choir as such. We don't have many people. Of course, you used to be upstairs. The organ was upstairs at one time. We brought it down here, so it's just more convenient for all of us. And we do go upstairs if you got a big funeral. I have been up there one of them. Also, you need to remember that the beams up here were part of Foley's work that you got on the ceiling. That's part of what he did. So he was a very busy young man, wasn't he?
He certainly was. I mean, he was in this church for a while. You don't,
I think so.
You don't do that in 30 minutes.
No.
That's for sure.
Job.
And it's still, nothing really has hurt this church. No, I mean, you have storms.
Thank goodness. We've had storms, but nothing has really hit it. I'll put it that way. Thank goodness, and praise the Lord, I guess we'd say, yeah.
I would like to mention that you're a bit knowledgeable because you are the newspaper.
That's right.
I mean, you are the staff.
I know about it, but I was a member of this church many years before I got to be the newspaper. I married the newspaper.
Right, exactly.
My husband was doing it downtown instead of me.
Now, the church is not open all day long, every day.
No, the chamber does open it up. I'm not sure of their hours. Well, I'm busy working downtown. But they open several hours during the day, and then they close down when the chamber closes, maybe around 2. But if someone is coming to town, they'll let the chamber know. They'll get hold of me, as they do with Michael, and he will be at his church, and I'll be here.
Right.
And we do a double, thing of churches when people come. Sometimes groups, sometimes a family.
Right.
We've had. There's a Hedrick family in Texas, connected somehow to the Bowies, and they have been here several times.
I see.
We're so glad that they could come and see how the church is doing. Yeah.
Emma, thank you so much for your knowledge of the church, and I know you invite anyone who is coming to Port Gibson or maybe traveling from Vicksburg to Natchez or vice versa to stop in and see what you got, and stop at the chamber because they will arrange to get you in the church.
That's the way it goes.